Hello and welcome to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. We are on the Zooms today with Kristen Laise. She is Executive Director for Belle Grove. Paige Ulevich is joining her. She is Festivals Coordinator. So that must mean we're talking about a festival. And of course, that then means we are talking about Shenandoah Sips. It is happening at Belle Grove on Saturday, August 29th from 11 to 5 p.m. And ladies, we were chatting before we started recording. I was thinking this was the third or fourth year of the rebrand, and it's the second year of Shenandoah Sips. Paige, it started off as another festival, and you've done this rebrand and given it a complete and total remodel.
Well, it was the Wine Fest at Belle Grove for 13 years. And we found that during those years, it was shifting also to including different types of beverages. So we decided a rebrand would be good so people would understand that it's not just wine. So while we will have 6 wineries here, we're also going to have 4 distilleries. We'll have a cidery, and we also have some non-alcoholic options this year as well that we've started introducing.
I remember the conversation last year about the mocktails, which I thought was genius because there are a lot of people that just don't drink, but there are a lot of people that are the designated driver when they come with groups of friends to an event like this. And this means they don't have to be left out.
Exactly. And we are bringing back the mocktails this year. Clem's Kitchen at the Wayside is going to be serving mocktails this year. If you've been in and met Justin, he's the one that will be here serving them up. And he makes a great mocktail, cocktail, anything. He's a great bartender. We also have recognized that, like you said, a lot of people aren't interested in the alcohol that much anymore. And they would just like to come and hang out with their friends and not feel pressured. So this year, we are having a sober sips pass, and that will allow you to come in and enjoy the music. We've got great music again this year, and we've got food trucks and the merchandise vendors and a chef's market in the upper level of the barn. And that is $20, and that will let you get in and spend the day here with all your friends. And you can also be your designated driver if you want to, or just come and hang out.
So let's talk a little more about the chef's market. Kristen Nahas was on the show from LaGrange Family Farm a few weeks ago, and she mentioned it as part of the Hungry for History. This is a great way for you guys to be able to participate in that without having to do yet another event.
Yeah, we love Hungry for History. It's really a super event bringing history and everyone's love of food together. And really, if you look at the lineup, you can go all around Frederick County, Clark County, Winchester, and get to see some really interesting and neat places and have a bite to eat or something to sip. But Krista had this vision. We had done chef demonstrations in the upper level of our barn during the festival. And she thought it might be more fun rather than having things happen on a strict schedule to just have more interaction and more of like a market feeling, like a farmer's market type feeling where you could go up to the producers, learn more about what they do, and they can do a small demonstration in front of you or tell you more about their production and their farm. So we have a lot of great participants. DAH Cuisine is a local caterer. High Affair is doing all sorts of amazing stuff with local food. She's a caterer and a grower. Moonbase Farms, Rambo Farms, Two Moms and a Cupcake Bakehouse. They're out of Shepherdstown. Oh my gosh, she's the best baker. Valley Mill Bakehouse is another great bakery, and Violet Ridge Farm and Forage. So definitely don't miss this part of the event. We'll have some great opportunities to meet people. And if you're into local food, sourcing your food locally, knowing where it came from, these are some great people to chat with.
It's a super great addition to an event like this because people come to these events, and you touched on this a second ago, Paige, for a variety of reasons. Some come to events like this simply because they want to shop and they want to go to all of the vendors and see who's making what or who's selling what. Some come because there are some really good food trucks that are there, but there are a lot of people, particularly here in the Shenandoah Valley, that do want to be closer to knowing where their food comes from. And this is the way that they want to experience that. So I love that you've added it in a little bit more of an expanded and personal way to this event.
We're looking forward to see how it goes and really welcome everybody to come out for this purpose as well.
And then, Paige, you have all of the standard things that you would have at a festival. When you talk about merchandise vendors, you always have some of the best ones and some that you don't find at other festivals throughout the year, which makes it nice that they can only come there to get the things.
Well, I say one thing we always have here that's very popular and is a good reason to show up is that Copper Fox Distillery brings our 1797 whiskey, which is often hard to get around here in the ABC store. So they bring boxes and boxes of it, and you can buy your own bottle to take home with you.
And they do a special cocktail too, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yes, every year they create a cocktail that they're going to bring that they can use their whiskey in that you can buy from them, as well as the other distilleries have started doing that too. So that's been a fun way to come and enjoy. And of course, we've got a lot of great vendors that are coming. People that have been here for years at Horatio Farms. They have great products. Drunken Wicks, which is a local favorite. She uses alcohol bottles that she has cleaned out and cut off, and she makes candles out of them. It's the cutest thing. White Caterpillar actually we've given them some of our old tasting glasses from previous years of Beer Fest and Wine Fest, and she's going to be making some special candles for this event too.
That is cool because talk about a collector's item.
Yes, and then we have a new vendor this year. She makes cornhole bags and quarter boards. And then, of course, Long Range Cigars has been a great supporter of ours for both the Shenandoah Sips, Wine Fest. They were a big supporter of Beer Fest, and they come to Kris Kringle Market as well. So we have some vendors that we've really loved to have and keep coming back, and we have a great relationship with them, like Haskell's Hardwood Creations. They've been a great supporter of us and of Middletown. They've come to the events there. Wicked Whisk is another one that's also participated in the evening market over at Middletown on Church Street, if you've been to that.
As people are listening now in early August, I mean, this event is just a couple of weeks away. Are you full for vendors, or are there some specialty things that you might still be open to having at the market?
Merchandise vendor spaces are pretty much sold out. I've only got a couple of those left. However, for beverage vendors, I would love to have another cidery come in. So I'm going to be making some calls to see if I can get one of the other cideries to come and participate this year. Try to get somebody new.
You mentioned you've got 6 wineries and some cideries and the distilleries. Can you run through a list real quick of who they are?
Sure. Right now we have 14 signed up total. That includes 3 non-alcoholic options. So we'll have the mocktails from Clem's Kitchen. We will have Mad Magic Kombucha. It will be here that if you've never had kombucha, it's one of my favorites. It's a non-alcoholic kombucha though this year. And then we also have Your Pure Store, which is on Loudon Street in Winchester. And she is going to bring tastings of CBD soda. And if you haven't had that, that's another big favorite of mine. As far as wineries go, we've got Chateau O'Brien at North Point, Twisted Pines from Twisted Pines Farm and Vineyard, Brede Family Vineyards, Mattapani Winery, Walsh Family Wine, which is a new winery that we have joining us. And then for distilleries, we have Copper Fox, Three Wives Distillery, which is a brand new distillery that just opened in the last year, I believe, Virago Spirits and Reservoir Distillery. We have Saga Meadery from Front Royal is coming, if you like me. And then Cobbler Mountain Cider, who's also been one. They've been a favorite here for years and years.
Three Wives Distillery did the show several months ago. Justin Kearns and I took a trip over there. And as the crow flies, it's not even that far from you there at Belle Grove.
Not at all. Yeah, I was so excited. I reached out to them right away when I saw they had opened.
Let's take a break. When we come back, it's not even just a chef's market and vendors and wine, cider, mocktails. There's also food, there's live music, there's access to the manor house. Can we talk about all of those in the next segment?
Absolutely.
We are on the Zooms today with Kristen Laise. She is executive director for Belle Grove Plantation. Joining her is Paige Ulevich. She is their festivals coordinator. We're talking about Shenandoah Sips. It is happening on Saturday, August 29th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We'll give you details for how you can get tickets when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
This Saturday, Henry Mueller will change the world. He has no idea that's what he's going to do. He only knows that he went to justserve.org and signed up to spend time at a senior center Saturday morning. As he browsed through service opportunities in his own community, he remembered the words of Paul to the Galatians, "By love, serve one another." Little does Henry know that Saturday morning he'll end up speaking to one senior in particular who hasn't seen his family in several weeks and is feeling especially lonely. Henry doesn't know the short time he'll spend with this man will lift his spirits, cheer his heart, and make his life just a little better. Through love and service this Saturday, Henry Mueller will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. We are on the Zooms today getting all the details for Shenandoah Sips. It is happening at Belle Grove on Saturday, August 29th from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Kristen Laise is on the Zooms with me. She is their executive director. Paige Ulevich is joining us as well. She is their festivals coordinator. And I want to talk for a second, Paige, about the food, because you guys also do a really good job of having some really good food trucks that are at all of your events, but at Shenandoah Sips in particular.
People have told us food is very important for this event, and they let me know if they're not happy with it. So we have Billy Sue and Daily Buzz coming back. They are right here in Middletown, and they have been so supportive of Belle Grove for all our events. So we always appreciate them coming. We also have Wayne's Delicious Eats. He was here last year. He'll have seafood again this year. And then we have Sexy Mexi this year. Over in the tent section, we will have Happy Creek Cheeses is now making gelato. So I'm very excited to have that coming. We also have Josephine's Kitchen, which makes pierogies. If you were here last year and you got to try the pierogies, she's coming back. That's my husband's favorite. We have a new vendor coming this year called the Naughty Nugget, who is bringing old-fashioned artisan chocolates.
Ooh. And then you couple that with the chef's market. The variety is going to be crazy good for people to choose from.
Absolutely. And Wicked Whisk, I had mentioned them before. Wicked Whisk is going to be bringing their baked goods, brownies and cake pops and sourdough bread.
So you can literally eat your way through this entire festival and
That's my
call
plan.
it
Yes,
a day.
that's my plan.
Go to the chef's market and get some goodies for Sunday morning breakfast, and you'll be all set.
And then all of this is happening while there's live music. People can access the manor house. There are other activities going on during the day as well.
We have great music this year. Dan James Band is a local band that I think a lot of people are going to recognize that name. He's going to be here with his band. They're going to be the first ones playing the first set. And then we have Low Water Bridge Band, who is nationally touring and very well known around here. Big favorite around here. They're going to come in and they're going to do our second set this year. We're very excited about having these two bands.
Yeah, I have heard Low Water Bridge. They are outstanding.
And then when there's a break between the two musical groups, there's always a shift around on the stage. We will have a blacksmith working in our blacksmith shop. It'll be another great time to come in and tour the manor house. The manor house will be open all during the festival, 11 to 5. And part of your ticket is being able to come in and see our exhibits and see what's going on in our historic house. And if you haven't ever toured before, it's great. We'll have volunteers in there to talk to you about that. So lots to do on the grounds. And I think there's going to be some kids' activities too.
Yes, we're planning some kids' activities. If you want to bring your kids with you, then we'll have some stuff to keep them occupied while you're hanging out.
Kristen, are the quilts still on display in the manor house?
Yes, so we did these memorial quilts to the people who are enslaved here, and that's a permanent exhibit. So you'll be able to come in and see that memorial and look at our archaeology exhibit.
There's also a reproduction of one of Nellie Height's dresses that's in the upstairs part of the manor house.
See, to me, that's the icing on top of the cupcake, so to speak, is being able to also access the manor house. I worry that people think that it's the same all of the time. And if they've seen it once, then they've already seen it. And that is not at all the case. And when you have access through events like this, you get to see something new or something different that has changed.
That's right. This is why we do these festivals. This is one of our most important fundraisers of the year. We're a nonprofit organization, and so we have to use a variety of revenue streams to keep the doors open. If we just existed on what people pay for admission tickets, we would never be able to do all that we do. So we really like to make a fun event for our community. We love supporting community businesses, local businesses. That's one of the best parts of this festival. But truly, your ticket is really supporting this nonprofit organization, our preservation activities, and our educational outreach. So it's got a really important purpose.
That doesn't take any government funding.
Yeah.
So how can I get a ticket? Where do I go? How does it work? You mentioned earlier the Sober Sips Pass. Kristen, tell me a little bit more about how all that works.
If you act today, you can save $5 on your tasting ticket. So in order to go to tastings at all the beverage vendors and to have the ability to buy things for later. So maybe you want one of those nice frosty cocktails from Copper Fox Distillery to enjoy in the shade, or you want to buy a bottle of wine for later or cider for later. In order to buy, you'll need to use the tasting ticket, and that's $35 if you buy it in advance. So the advance means until 5 p.m. on Friday, August 28th. And you can just go to our website, bellegrove.org. So that's BELLEGROVE.org. And right on the top, you'll see that button. You can buy your ticket there. Or if you are the designated driver or you're just not into alcohol, that's fine. You can buy the $20 Sober Sips Pass. And that would also apply to anybody under the age of 21. And that you can also buy on our website. And that's just $20 flat, whether you buy it in advance or at the gate. At the gate, the tasting ticket will be $40. So if you act now, buy online and save $5. There's also a designated entranceway when you have pre-bought your ticket. Otherwise, you can buy it that afternoon when you arrive, and we take cash and credit cards.
When you were talking a second ago, Nikki and I have this conversation for the Wine and Craft Festival in Front Royal every year. I think people don't realize or understand that if you are purchasing alcohol of any type, whether you plan to drink it there or take it home, you have to buy that tasting ticket, because with that tasting ticket comes getting your ID checked and all of the things that you have to follow, the ABC laws that you have to follow. I think people think, oh, I'm not going to get the tasting ticket because I'm not going to drink there. And then they want to buy some of that whiskey or they want to get a bottle of wine, and they can't do that without the tasting ticket.
Yes, thanks for making that point. It's really important. Yeah, we have really strict ABC laws. It's really important for us to follow that for everyone's safety and make sure that we have a good and fun, safe event. And we know that sometimes people change their mind. They come in and buy one ticket and they come and change. You can always go back to the front gate and just pay an upgrade. And you can upgrade your ticket at any point during the day if you're over 21.
That's a good idea. And then what if, say, I want to get 3 or 4 bottles of wine from one of the wineries, and then I also want some mead, and then I want to get a case of the 1797 whiskey from Belle Grove. Can you keep that for me somewhere? I don't have to bring a wagon and roll around with that, right?
Yep, Janet, your arms are full. We're here to help. So there is going to be a bag check tent. It's always our classic red and white striped tent right on the edge of the tasting field, absolutely free of charge. We are here to store and keep your things safe until you're ready to head home.
And to be clear, this is a rain or shine event, right? Bring an umbrella.
Correct.
If it looks a little misty, but it never really rains at Belle Grove, right? Isn't that how it works?
Like, we're usually pretty good for August.
Yeah. If we're going to get a storm, it's going to be later in the day, and the event's over at 5. So you should be good.
That's the plan.
And then again, one of the upsides to you having that space there is no lack of parking either.
Right. We'll have our parking field open. We've improved it over the years, make it more efficient, fit more cars in. Just follow the instructions of your lovely parking attendants and then head on into the event. And you are more than welcome to bring your own lawn chairs or even a small pop-up tent. People really love just to stake out their spot for the day, get up, enjoy some of the food trucks, do some tastings, pop into the chef's market, and come back and enjoy some music in your place. So chairs are welcome. No outside food and drink except for very small children, bottles of water, but all of those are subject to be checked by our security guards.
And we should leave pets at home. While Belle Grove is normally pet friendly, like I can come there and walk my dog, events like this, typically it is safer for everyone involved, including our pets, for them to just stay home.
Correct. The volume of people is just not safe for pets. And yes, while you could walk your dog along our hiking trails, we like to say, leave your pets at home. You can tell them all about it when you come home that evening.
Janet, you mentioned the weather. Sometimes you'll have the storms the rain coming through later in the day. And since you live in Middletown, you know this from experience, is that just because it's raining in Stevens City or Winchester or Front Royal, it's not raining in Middletown. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but a lot of times the rain just goes right past us and we don't get anything.
Oh, yeah. My husband calls it the Middletown vortex. and
Yep.
he will be watching the radar, and Strasburg is getting the reds and the greens, and Stephen City is getting the reds and the greens, and it's heading towards us, and then it just breaks in half. Like
Yep.
all of the Winchester got pounded last week, and there were puddles everywhere when I got to Winchester, and we got not a drop here in Middletown, but they got a lot of rain in Strasburg. So the radar isn't always the most
Yeah.
reliable. Just get in the car and head this way. I love that so many businesses get behind you because they do recognize that if they can offset the cost of the actual event itself, then more of the money that you raise goes to your mission and your programs and that education and maintenance and all that sort of stuff. So I love that you have some really good sponsors, and some of these have been with you for years.
We are really grateful to our sponsors for this event. It really helps us meet some costs so that we can have as much of our ticket sales go to support our education and preservation mission. So we're very grateful to Crescent City Charities, who's been a longtime supporter of this event. We have great media partners with iHeartMedia, Q102, KISS 98.3, and 99.3 Fox Rocks. Harper's Wood Creations in Strasburg is another great supporter of ours for this event. We're very, very grateful for all their support.
So
And yours
tell me
as well,
what-
Janet. Thank you so much for helping us get the word out.
So, Paige, tell me one more time before we wrap up, where can I go get my ticket? Can I find more details about this event? Give me all of that contact information.
Tickets are very easy to buy on our website, bellegrove.org, BELLEGROVE.org. It's right there on the homepage of Belle Grove on the top right. The tasting tickets are $5 less when you buy them online before 5 p.m. on the Friday day before. And then there'll be $40 at the gate. Our Sober's Hips passes are $20 both online and at the gate. Children that are 12 and under can get in free.
You had me at, if I buy my ticket in advance, I don't have to stand in line. So aside from
Yes,
the
you'll have a
$5.
separate. If you buy your ticket ahead of time, then you'll have a separate entrance where you can check in and go right in.
And so Shenandoah Sips happening Saturday, August 29th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. You're likely posting updates on your social media on Facebook and Instagram of highlighting vendors and things like that. So people should follow you there for other updates.
Yes, you can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram, Belle Grove. I think on Instagram, it's Belle Grove 1797. The minute we have an update, we update our Facebook event and our website.
Paige, thank you for meeting up with me on the Zooms today and giving me all of the details. I'm excited when we talk about our next event for you to tell me how successful this one was.
Probably our largest event, best attended event, and extremely popular around here is our Kris Kringle Market in November, the weekend before Thanksgiving. And that's going to be November 21st and 22nd this year. So put it on your calendars. Over 60 vendors have signed up. So I have no problem saying we're going to be sold out in vendor spaces. We'll have another 100 vendors again for everybody this year.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite events every year. And Kristen, it's always great to talk to you. And I swear, I know I've said this to you dozens of times. At some point, I am going to put together a history series where we are going to talk about the actual history of Belle Grove. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, that's okay. I'm available anytime.
Thank you both. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Janet.
Janet.
I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley today, just a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.